Welcome back to another video, and in this video we're going to be continuing on with our SwiftUI tutorial series, and in this particular tutorial we are going to be taking a look at how we can create alerts in SwiftUI. Now, what are alerts? Well, alerts are those little message box that pop up, for example, when you when you want to delete something and the application wants to make sure that you are absolutely sure that you want to delete something, or if an error occurs, oftentimes there will be an alert that pops up letting you know, hey, something went wrong, that sort of thing. That's what I'm talking about here. All right, so the first thing that you are going to need is inside of Xcode. At the top of the view that your alert is going to be in, you need a state variable that is of type Boolean. This Boolean is going to be what determines whether or not your alert is being displayed to the user. I have mine set to false by default because I do not want the alert to be displayed unless I specifically ask for it by tapping or clicking on a button. And that's pretty much what we're going to be doing in this particular example. This button that I have in a toolbar, it has a trash symbol associated with it and a delete all label. What this is going to do is when you hit delete all in the alert, then all the locations in our sidebar will be deleted. If you hit cancel, the alert will dismiss and then nothing else will happen. All right, so how do we do this then? Well, after you create your state variable, what you're going to need I'm going to quickly get rid of this comment. This is where my alert is going to be. We're going to say .alert, and this alert modifier has many different forms. The first one we're going to take a look at is the most common one that you'll see. Where it takes a binding to whether or not the alert should be displayed or not, and the content that you want to display in the alert, which is typically an alert view. All right, so we'll say is presented, $ is presented. I want to make sure that I have all I need here. And no, I do not. Okay, there we go. All right, we'll open this up. And then inside of our closure here, we will say capital A alert. And this will take in several different parameters because it has various different initializers we can use. The initializer we are going to be using in this example is we're going to have a title, which is of type text. So that takes a text view. And then there's going to be a primary and a secondary button. The primary button is going to be our delete button. The secondary is going to be our cancel button. So let's go ahead then, and we'll say title alerts, and we want, it should be, there we go, title, this text is going to have, are you sure you want to delete all landmarks? Like that. Then we'll have our primary action. But first, what I want to do is I want each of these parameters to be on their own line, because this will make, because if it's not, the initializer will be extremely long, and we don't want we don't want an extremely long initializer. We just are extremely long line, so we'll separate that into multiple lines to make it more readable. All right. So now the primary action, or primary button, is going to be dot. There are a few options here. You can choose cancel. You can choose cancel with an action. All kinds of stuff. There's default, and there's destructive. We want destructive. So dot destructive. And we want to have the label and an action. Now, the reason why we're saying destructive here is because the action we're going to take with the primary button is a destructive action. And this will make sure that the destructive action button is styled appropriately. All right, so in here for the label, we're going to say text delete all. And yet again, we'll say we'll have label and action on their own separate lines. And because we already have a method called delete all, I can just say delete all. I can pass that reference to that method there. All right. Now, for the secondary button, this is just going to be dot cancel. No custom label or action or anything like that. If we just say dot cancel like this, the alert takes care of dismissing itself. And that's it. So let's go ahead and run our code now. Here's our application. You can see in our detail view for our navigation split view that we have in our window, it's just some text telling the user, hey, select a landmark to get started. And when you select a landmark, it'll go to our location view where we can see our map and all of that. Relatively simple stuff. Again, we haven't covered maps, and we will later on, but I wanted to demonstrate how we can do some of this stuff in a real world, practical application that you might actually build. So that's why I did all of that map code and stuff ahead of time. Now, let's go into our toolbar. And here we have our delete all button. When we click this button, here is our alert. You can see our title gets displayed. Are you sure you want to delete all landmarks? And we have a cancel button. When we hit cancel, the alert dismisses itself and nothing happens. That's precisely what we wanted to happen when we hit the cancel button. When we hit delete all, the alert dismisses itself, and all of our landmarks are gone because it went and invoked our delete all method. So if we go back into Xcode and we go down below here, we can see that method and exactly what it does. It just calls remove all on locations. And so that is how we can create an alert using the most common alert modifier and alert view method here. However, there is another way. So I'm going to delete this alert modifier, and we'll do a little bit more of a shorthand version. This will do the exact same thing, but it's a little bit shorter, a little bit more concise. So here we'll have dot alert. And what we want is the one where we have a title, a binding to a Boolean, and we have actions. This is a content closure that you can put view hierarchy in to specify the alert actions like cancel or delete all or whatever the case whatever your alert needs. So here, what we'll do is we'll say, are you sure you want to delete all landmarks? $ is presented. Alright, we'll open this up. And in here, we're going to say button cancel role.cancel. And we'll say is presented toggle. So we're just saying, okay, just dismiss the alert and do nothing else for the cancel button. Next, we'll have our delete all button. So button delete all with a role of dot destructive. And inside of the action, we can just say action delete all. And that's it. We can save this and run our code. All right, here's our application. Let's go into our toolbar, hit our delete all button, and here we get effectively the same alert. Are you sure you want to delete all landmarks? We have a cancel button. We can hit cancel and it dismisses the alert and nothing happens. We can click delete all and all of the landmarks are gone. All right, so that is how we can make an alert in SwiftUI. We've taken a look at alerts in macOS. Let's go ahead and take a look at what they look like in iOS before we go. So inside of Xcode, I'm going to go into the toolbar, go into my run destinations, and we'll say 16 Pro Max simulator. All right. So here is our app. Let it kind of do its thing here. So we have our list. Okay, so I guess what I'll probably end up doing here instead then is I will just run it on my phone so I don't have to worry about any potential problems. So let's go ahead and do that. Go into my run destinations, my iPhone here. All right. Now I gotta unlock this. The app now has to load. All right, it's loading. Now I'm going to screen mirror. We're gonna do my Mac Mini here. All right, so here we are inside of our app. It's still trying to completely load here.
Sidebar, Lincoln Memorial.
Okay.
Statue of Liberty. U.S. Landmarks. U.S. Landmarks. Heading. Sidebar, Yellowstone Grand Canyon National Park.
So I'm going to say
Washington Monument. Statue of Liberty.
Statue of Liberty.
Statue of Liberty.
Now it's displaying the map.
Map. U.S. Landmarks. Back button. Statue of Liberty. Map. Newburgh. Lake Carmel. Middletown.
It appears that the...
U.S. Landmarks. Back button. U.S. Landmarks.
Okay, so these aren't showing up. The toolbar items are not showing up exactly as I intended them to.
Landscape. Tutorial app SwiftUI. Sidebar. Statue of Liberty.
So let's try this instead. Going into landscape mode.
Sidebar. Statue of Liberty. U.S. Landmarks. Heading. U.S. Sidebar. Statue of Liberty. Washington Monument. Actions available. Lincoln Memorial. Actions available.
And that does not work either. So what we can do just to move along here is inside of my content view. I'm going to go to our list here. And I will have a button with an is presented.toggle and a label like that. And inside of the label, it'll just be a label delete all with a system image of trash and a label style of dot icon only. There we go. I'm gonna now go and I'm gonna try the simulator one more time. All right, there we go. Let it load here. All right, so here we are with our delete all button. Let's tap it. And here is our alert that pops up. We get a title for our alert. So are you sure you want to delete all landmarks? We can hit cancel and it will go away. We can delete we can hit the delete button again. And instead of hitting cancel, we'll say delete all. And now all of the landmarks are gone. All right, so that pretty much does it for how we can create alerts in SwiftUI. Thank you all so very much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.